I've helped so many people move abroad, purchase properties abroad, rent, get visas, but we're all just trying to show you have another option.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. I've been traveling all around the world, meeting so many amazing people, like my beautiful guest today, who is going to be answering so many questions for you about visa requirements, about expat life, nomad life, and all the things you may want to know about traveling long term, especially if you are in Colombia. All right, right now I have with me Rotisha Starks. I happened to meet her through looking at Airbnb, and we found out that we both lived in Atlanta and both had this, just lust for more life and traveling abroad. And through that, I found she owns several businesses in Santa Marta, Colombia. She also has businesses online. She does so much. I'm gonna let her introduce herself a little bit, but I'm blown away by this woman right here. So,
hi everybody, I am Rotisha. You can find me online everywhere as Rotisha's World. I am originally from a small town in Petersburg, Virginia, by way of Atlanta, and I ended up in Colombia at the top of COVID. Just wanted something different, wanted a different lifestyle for me and my family, and Colombia just checked the boxes for us. So we've been here now 4 years, just living life, really, like having the ability and time to actually create what we want to create, and that's just like in a short. But in that time frame, I've helped so many people move abroad, purchase properties abroad, rent, get visas. We do a host of different things, but we're all just trying to show you have another option. That's literally it. You have another option. You don't have to stay and suffer. You don't have to overpay. You don't have to eat horrible food. You have other options.
hello. Okay, so I have so many questions from so many of you. I mean, as you can hear, she is on this trajectory of just helping others because she's helped herself through travel, through just taking leaps and taking chances, and it's led to a beautiful life. So let's get into it. Like, what do you think is standing in people's way, and then what helped you to kind of just make that leap?
Most of the time it's fear, but what I can tell you guys, the fear is self-inflicted. It's not real. Like, just how you're living where you are, you can live like that or even better in another country. And now no one knows you. No one knows your name. Nobody is bothering you. It's almost like your life takes so many steps in a better direction. You grow so many ways. You're forced to learn things again, try new things again. You feel young again. So I would say fear is like one of y'all major things you have to get over. And that's whether you move abroad or not. That's just in a daily life. If you have fear, you have no trust in yourself. Every time we've had doubt, every time we've had fear, it worked out. So I think if you can get over that hurdle, and maybe you don't get over it prior to moving, but you need to be working towards that. Fear is the number one thing.
No, I agree. I think, a lot of times when, people ask, what's making you feel like you're confident enough to do that, to take the leap, to not be scared? And I'm like, I was never afraid.
Yeah.
Like, I had things that I knew I would probably have to figure out along the way, but I'm like, I just want to do it, and whatever I face once I get there, I'm gonna face it and I'm gonna figure it out. But I understand also that a lot of people don't think that way.
Correct.
And so it's been an opportunity for me to share this journey so that I can show people, like, yo, I promise it's not what you think.
It's not what you think.
It's not what you think.
It's better than you think, right?
That's the thing. So I think it's that mentality of instead of, oh my gosh, what if it goes bad? What if it's all,
what if?
And what if it goes amazing? Like, what if you change your whole life? What if you change your health? What if, everything that you want works out for the better?
And you don't want to stand on that and not go, or stand on that and then go and realize oh, I could have missed out on this. It's small-minded to think the only thing you can be and do is in the place you were born. That doesn't make sense, you know? And so now, being outside, I think global. Like, when I was in the US, I thought I want to create businesses to sell to this. No, now I'm thinking global, so it expands you in so many different ways, and there's so many opportunities out there. Just, it's that belief, it's that self-belief.
Yeah, and that's the part. It's like, you have to work on this. You have to do, because there's, she can sit here and tell you, I can sit here and tell you, but if you don't really embrace that within and say, okay, I can do this. I really can do this. And I mean, I know with my faith, I'm I know whatever happens, God gonna help me work it out. We gonna get there. So that's you know, what I would give to you, if you're worried, if you're stressed, if you're fearful, know that you gotta believe it within yourself in order to take that jump. So
Absolutely.
okay, so the next question, what are some initial things that people absolutely need to know when it comes to traveling long term, whether that's to visit long term or to live?
I think the first thing is, when you travel, you should not be traveling expecting the place you're going to be just like the place you left. Because what happens is, I get a lot of people who come over and the first thing they say is, well, it's not like this in America. It's not like this in the US. Or why do they do this? I think that's the first thing. I think you need to just have yourself completely open to experiences. So I would say that, one, open your mind. Two, know your why. Know your why. If you're traveling and want to live abroad just to do the exact same thing you were doing back home, clubbing, hanging out every single day, looking for the brunch spaces, in a year or two you'll be back home. You'll be back home, because that's not sustainable. So I think you need to know your why and understand, like, this is going to be a transition. It's not going to just be fun. You're going to grow so much, and that's exciting. That is exciting. When you're expanding who you are with yourself, you get to actually know yourself. You're away from family, you're away from friends, you're away from the expectations for you to be the exact same way you've been all your life. So you actually get to blossom. So I think being open to that, I think, is the best thing, because when we are not open, we're so caged in, and the moment we get frustrated, we're like, oh, I just want to go home. Or it just doesn't work for me. Or let me go try another place. And the same thing is going to happen in the next place. So I think you have to be open to the change, open for the expansion, and just the growth. That's just major, because all the other stuff is simple. They're tasks, right? You need to sell everything. You need to have a P.O. box. You need to do this. Those are easy. I can send those to you. But if you haven't worked on yourself, I don't see it being a good experience for you.
Yeah, that's good. You mentioned about being open, and I think that's another thing along with fear, that's just pushing people back, because they think, oh, well, I don't speak the language, or what if there aren't people that look like me? What if I don't like the food? Again, back to that what if. So what advice would you give someone who doesn't speak the language? Because are you fluent in Spanish? Do you know Spanish well? Like,
I am not fluent, guys. I would say I can understand it, but I'm not fluent speaking. I will also say, never allow that to hold you back. I mean, we live in a country, we live in the U.S., there's people there from all over that don't speak our language, and they're making it. They're wealthy, they're well established. We used to ask that question, like, how do you always come over to here and they can do well? It's this same exact concept. It's the same exact concept. You take your knowledge, you take what you learn, and you figure it out. But no, don't let language hold you back. I think language was unspoken anyway. We really didn't speak words before. It was sound, it was movement, it was expression. And I think that's universal. Everybody understands it. If you ask me what was the major thing I had to get over, language was never that.
Like, you really don't need to know every Spanish word.
Yeah!
Like, you can learn the basics.
Yes.
I mean, the things I do every day, probably, what would you do every day? I order coffee,
Comida, cafe,
food, like things like that. But that's really it. Speaking of, I got a Spanish guide for y'all. It is easy Spanish phrases that I use every single day. I'm not a Spanish expert, but these are the things that I use every day. So feel free to download that. I'll put the link in the description too. But okay, let's move along. So, okay, you've been here for 4 years, right?
4 years.
Okay, so 4 years, and you've helped how many people would you say get visas?
The number of visas, I have no clue, but as far as moving, purchasing, and renting, over 50.
Wow.
Over 50.
That's incredible. Let's talk about what that looks like.
Okay.
So let's say let's start with visit first. I want to visit another country. Maybe I'm going to stay there for, 30 days, 60 days. What is the process, and do I need a visa to visit for 30 days? When does it start to get into the legal part?
Okay, so this gets a little tricky for everybody for some reason. But you initially in Colombia, you get 90 days to come over to Colombia. But prior to that 90 days, around 75 on the 80th day, you want to log into the website, and we can put that link down below, and extend your 90-day visit. So you would get a total of 180 days in Colombia, which is dope, by the way. It's really, really dope. It don't cost you anything to get this. Now, if you know you want to stay past that time frame, now we need to talk about visas. We need to talk about different options that you might have. Or even if you're watching this video and you've already passed that time and you don't know what to do and you're afraid, don't panic. We can help with all of that. We can help prior to you being over and after. But you initially will get the 90 days in any country. And so if you like, oh, I want to leave, but I don't want to stay permanent, I just want to test it out, that's the best option. You come over, you test it out, you try different cities for 30 days or more. It's a game changer. Yeah, it's a game changer.
So don't be like me, because I waited until I was like day 87, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to play with that. I ain't never been to Colombia in jail. I'm not trying to find out. So I was like, I'm not gonna wait. I've heard stories about people overpaying or overstaying, and then they pay a fine. But you just never know what you're gonna get, because I've heard some people that have overstayed a week or two, and then they weren't allowed back into the country until their next year.
Correct.
So I'm like, what are the consequences? Let's say I overstay, and depending on how long I overstay, like, what are those consequences?
That's true, guys. And it's hard for me to give you an exact number of how much you would pay. It's almost based on that migration officer that gets your paperwork. But if you overstay, you will have a fine. 9 times out of 10, you can go to the airport like you're going to fly out normally. They're going to pull you over and ask you to fill out paperwork. And that paperwork, you need to explain why did you overstay. And they're going to let you know that a fine is going to come to you via email or via mail at a later date. And those fines can be drastic. So that's why I say don't panic. Get some information first before you make that mistake of just going to the airport blindly. The other thing is, if you go to the airport, they fine you fine. If you don't and you just stay over, or they catch you, you're then somewhat deported out of the country, and then you can't come back until the following year.
So with that, if I am ready to get my visa, right, I'm positioning myself to do so, what are the first thing, basic steps? What do I need?
First thing, I don't want to even discuss anything else until you request your FBI background check and do your fingerprints, right? So the first step is you have to do your fingerprints. You can do your fingerprints. It varies per city. So guys, you can go to, sometimes the bank can do it. Sometimes the government can do it downtown. You have to look that up because it varies per city. You can request your FBI background check from the FBI. It takes about, depends, 2 to 4 weeks to come back. That's the first step. None of the rest of the stuff needs to happen until that step happens. Outside of that, you're going to need 3 months of bank statements. You're going to need a letter stating why you want to stay in Colombia and work. And it's just a handwritten letter. The third one, you're going to need a letter with your company letterhead saying, hi, she works here, she makes this amount, blah, blah, blah. You need to show a minimum coming in of $900. And why this is cool, guys, everyone's hyping up Thailand, everyone's hyping up Spain, but the amount of money that you have to show for those visas are insane. And a lot of people won't have that. So make sure when you're listening to TikTok and you're looking at all of this stuff, you get over there, what are you gonna do when those 6 months are up? You have to be able to show the 14 grand in some cases, the 3,500 in some cases per month to get a visa. And those visas have different stipulations. Every country is different. Your other item that you're going to need that has a cost to it is your 2 years worth of insurance. You must have the insurance. The reason why most of these items are asked from you is Colombia wants to make sure that if you come over here, you can afford yourself. You can afford your living expenses. You can afford if you get sick and you need to go to the medical doctor and you need to get back home to the States, etc.
So with the insurance, some people may get confused and think, well, I have insurance in the States. Won't that count? No,
guys. Your insurance in the States would not count for your visa. You need a traveler's insurance. And that covers you if you need to go to the doctor again. If something happens, you need to be shipped back to the United States, etc. That insurance is totally different. And then once you get your visa, there's another insurance that you would get that you would no longer need the traveler's insurance. So those main things, that application, I need to see you make money. I need those 2 years of insurance. I need those letters proving that you truly have a job. I need a photo of you on a passport background. And yeah, and that's about it, guys. And once you get all of that to us, it takes time. So that FBI background needs to be done first and foremost. So if you know you're about to leave, go ahead and submit for that, because it takes time, and then we got you.
And that brings me to my next question about like renting and buying. I know you have places here, you've helped other people get places. So what does that look like in terms of, let's say I'm like, all right, I've done my 3 months, 6 month visit, I love it, I want to move officially. What does that look like?
You have 3 options. Your first option is renting, of course. Renting, again, we try to deal with the owners of the property, so they're typically going to ask you for first month and deposit, maybe additional month, right? Just depends. It's going to be your bank statements, it's going to be the application, copy of your passport. A lot of the things are going to be vetted through us because they trust us, so you won't be asked for additional items, right? So that's with renting. Renting is simple. It's not the credit check, it's not that feeling, that icky feeling. We really handle a lot of it for you. The second option will be pre-construction. Pre-construction really is almost like buying a property on layaway. You can literally come down here and purchase your dream home under $1,000 and start the process for having that property be yours. Your third option is, again, buying a property already built. Again, that's going to be a cash offer. You have amazing negotiating power when you purchase with cash. But again, those are your 3 options: renting, pre-construction, and purchasing a property already available.
Y'all heard it, okay? If you have questions, this is the person to go to. You can drop them in the comments because this is definitely great information. I mean, obviously you can go and schedule a consultation, you can do your due diligence yourself, but again, why would you work harder when you can literally just have this resource here, which I value so much because these aren't things that I know fully. So I will definitely be hitting you up soon, but Rotisha is here to help whoever is listening, whoever's watching, to help you with the process. If this is something that you need, do not waste time. If you are ready to take a leap, lean on your people. You got 2 people right here that you can lean on. So comment below, let us know if you have any questions, and Rotisha, please tell us how we can get a consultation with you or where we can find you on social media, and if we want to hit you up, ask you questions, where can we do that?
Guys, you can find me, I think, on all the platforms at Rotisha's World. My website is relocatewithrotishasworld.com. You can find me there. We do free calls every week. We do a virtual conference for buying property abroad for Medellin, Cartagena, Cali, and Vanakia. You guys don't want to miss that. But yeah, just check me out. I'm posting a lot of knowledge. I'm talking to other expats. Trying to show you the city so you can understand what Santa Marta looks like. But yeah, just do it with fear anyway.
Wow,
yes. I love that.
Yeah, you gotta, come on. We gonna put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, see all the links below in the description. Check the links. You can get in contact with Rotisha. You can get in contact with myself. And make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, okay? Do not forget, because we have so much more to share. Thank you for tuning in. And Rotisha, thank you so much. You gave so much great information. Like, the fact this is free, y'all better hit her up. Get a consultation, all right? All right, I'll see y'all in the next video.